My favorite game to play while watching Power Rangers is Now We're in Japan. Cause why not gamify your favorite show? It's just an added layer of fun. As you may or may not know, Power Rangers has a really interesting relationship with a Japanese show called Super Sentai. What they do is they purchase the footage from a pre-existing season of Super Sentai. And since during the fight scenes the actors' faces are completely covered by the helmets, they reuse the fight scenes, but completely rewrite the plot and film everything around it with new actors. This makes the production of the show cheaper because actually filming fight scenes is really expensive. So when I watch the show, I like to keep an eye out for the transitions from Power Rangers footage to Super Sentai footage. And granted, it's typically right when our heroes run up to a monster, point dramatically and say something along the lines of, "We will defeat you! Justice! Huzzah!" And then, of course, they jump over the camera and boom, we're in Japan. However, there are instances where a fight scene will be some Japanese footage and some American footage, because they had to reshoot small pieces in order to make their continuity make sense. For instance, if the Sentai fight takes place in a forest and the next scene in Power Rangers is going to be an important conversation by a river, they might film one shot with their own stunt actor in the same costume where they run out of a forest tree line and stop over by a river. So the question is, how can you actually tell when it's American footage versus Japanese footage? Well, I'm going to give you the 3 best ways, starting with arguably the most convoluted and moving on to the most obvious. Number 1, as much as they try to make it match, there are notable differences in the film quality. Not necessarily that one or the other is better, but you can kind of sense a difference in the frame rate. Possibly one is analog and one is digital. I'm not actually sure. There's also slight variances in the lighting. So sometimes you can just tell by seeing that something is changed in the actual image quality on your screen. Number 2, the suits are actually different. While Japan does usually send their old suits over to the American production company for them to reuse, they typically just reuse the monster suits, but make new Ranger suits to fit their own stunt people, and they use a slightly different kind of fabric. Oftentimes, when it is Japanese footage, you will notice the suits are like a shinier material, and then in the Power Rangers specific footage, they are more matte. And number 3, architecture. I mean, that's an obvious one. They try so hard. A lot of Power Rangers has filmed in New Zealand, and they will recurringly go back to specific locations, parks, buildings, things like that, that sort of match the locations where they filmed in Japan. But there are instances of like, there's a fight going on and you can see Tokyo Tower in the background and you're like, clearly this has been filmed in Tokyo. And there's also some wiggle room for like, they're standing next to a pillar and then they're standing next to another pillar, and while it's still a pillar, it's clearly not the same pillar. Would you like to play Now We're in Japan? I picked a really good episode. In Beast Morphers Going Ape, the fight scene at the end, the footage filmed in Japan was filmed in a forest where the ground cover is like maple leaves. And the footage filmed in New Zealand was in a forest where the ground cover is pine needles. So it's really, really fun to watch because it's super easy to tell when it switches. Alright, I'm gonna watch it on my laptop, but I'll put it up on the screen behind me. We're gonna start when Ravi gets in a fight with Blaze and Roxy. So he's about to do his morph, and you can clearly see they're in that one forest that they're always in, because it was apparently the only filming location in New Zealand. So, oh god, I forgot how much I love this purple suit, by the way. The flower shoulder piece, amazing, yeah. I feel like I should be skipping around. But anyway, do you see the ground when he got blasted? And do you see right next to his freaking head a close-up of her feet while she's running? Like, this is clearly a different location. Oh, I should probably skip this part because now they're going to talk about how he needs their help. Hold that thought. Skippy, skippy, skippy. This is really interesting though, because they take Cruz with them, because his robot counterpart was obviously in the fight scene in the Japanese footage in a way that they couldn't cut him out. But they specifically don't take Cruz with them into battle. After literally 10 episodes prior, when they took Cruz into battle and the result was him essentially getting killed. And the lesson learned was that Devon realized he pushed Cruz too far. So it's really, really weird to have them be like, okay, we gotta go into battle. And Devon just looks over and he's like, Cruz, come on. And you're like, what?
Let's go. Cruz.
Here he is, he hides behind this tree, and I think it's because they wanted to use a shot that comes up later where it's a wide shot of everyone doing things and tons of explosions going off, and Cruz is just in there like panicking, like doing that classic like hands by your head, ah, and running around. So yeah, this is all filmed in New Zealand, we can see. It is that one forest. I've made jokes about this before. It's always the same forest. Oh, we're in Japan. Now we're in Japan. Look at the ground. Oh, the cinematography's a little different in Japan. I mean, arguably better. They're getting some really cool shots here. They got the fog, doing some cool angles. Like, honestly, at the beginning of the scene when she ran up on him and the camera was really close to the ground, that was nice. Oh, we're in Japan. I want to rewatch that bit though, because they go to New Zealand just so Blaze can jump over this bush and then immediately back to them fighting in Japan. So I'm wondering, what was the continuity fix there? Classic. Turn into a cheetah and maul someone. Great attack. Oh, and he just looked and it panned with his face over to New Zealand, which is brilliant. Okay, that's pretty much the end of the scene. Now we're at another filming location in New Zealand on a suspended bridge. I love doing this. It's ridiculously fun. And especially in the context of like that bit I was just talking about, like Devin turned his head so quickly, it panned all the way to New Zealand. Or like sometimes I like to say, they hit that villain so hard that they threw him all the way to Japan. Okay, anyway, I'm a nerd and that's what I like to do with my time. I hope you had fun here. If you had fun, please like and subscribe. I'm gonna play a blooper of me completely losing my mind now. Or the way that they've lighted things, the way they've, oh boy, my brain don't work. The way they've lit it, the way it is lit, the way it is lighted. Holy shit, does that word even mean anything? Lighting, the way the lighting is used, the type of lighting, the way they lighted it, the way it is lit. Light. I quit.